Good afternoon and welcome to Rockwell Automation Park in Western for the 2019 Herald Women's Premier League Grand Final. Today it's the premiers, the new Lambton Eagles, who will look to win the double against the only side who have achieved the double in Merewether United. They did back in 2015. So after 21 rounds and 2 seesawing semi-finals, it all comes down to this. In the blue corner, it's the new Lambton Eagles. Just their second season in the WPL, and already they've made it to grand final day. They've got some bright young products blended with an experienced core and a side who have lost just one match all season. While from the red come Merewether United, the grand final queens, and despite a season where they lost 9-0 to South Wallsend, they just know how to get here. And once they are here, they just know how to win. 3 grand finals, 3 wins. It doesn't get much better than that. And last year they became the first WPL side to win consecutive championships. In 2019 they have their sights set on the first side to complete the three-peat. So it's consistency versus experience as the new Lambton Eagles play Merewether United in the 2019 Herald Women's Premier League Grand Final. You can see the 2 captains, Alison Logue, the goalkeeper from Merewether, and Tara Andrews from New Lambton, taking part in the coin toss. Just some news on the lineup. So for New Lambton, their coach Keelan Hamilton has made just one change from the team who drew 4-4 with South Wallsend in the second leg of their semi-final last weekend. 16-year-old Kate Heap drops back to the bench with Emmeline Pepper coming into the starting side. They've also got Tara Andrews, leading goal scorer in the WPL, 42 goals in the regular season alongside Jenna Kingsley. She's got 46 now. For Merewether, Cass Coppins, Merewether United, had a draw last weekend against Warners Bay. It finished 2-2, and she's decided to stick with the same starting 11, including Jamie Ellis and Ellie Withers, who have been part of every grand final win for Merewether United. Beautiful conditions at Western, 22 degrees, light breeze from the east at about 10 kilometres an hour, and Ellie Hayes is our referee. Very experienced referee on the panel for assistance in the W League. And it's Riley Dobson with the ball in the centre circle. And we are underway in the 2019 Herald Women's Premier League Grand Final. And Cass Wright, the Eagles have been unstoppable in the regular season. Merewether have been unstoppable in grand finals. So consistency or experience, who wins the day?
Yeah, well, it'll be interesting to see what actually happens today, how that will all fold out. So as you said, we've called a few grand finals with the Merewether coming from behind and taking the game. And New Lambton, they're first into the...
Well, here's a strike from distance. What a bad effort there from Jane McDonald, who had a year off last year. Very experienced player, the number 3 for United, and decent start for her afternoon. She was part of the grand final winning side in 2015 and 2017. Can they do it again? What a record they have. The last 2, both against Warners Bay, both 4-3 wins for Merewether and New Lambton. Their second season. Remember, they got knocked out in the semi-finals last year against Merewether. It was a tight semi-final series, 2-1 on aggregate.
And a different season they've had this year.
Very different. Just 1 loss through the regular season. They've actually just lost 1 of their last 24 in the WPL. That against Warners Bay in round 19. And New Lambton with the throw here. Emily Wicks to take. She's looking for Tara Andrews. She's going to be the focal point up front for New Lambton. And then Riley Dobson for Merewether. Andrews, of course, playing for the Newcastle Jets in the W League. Dobson for Melbourne City. She won the championship last year with them in the 2017-18 season. And here she is. And she strikes from distance and just pushes that one wide. Of course, Cash, she scored 2 goals in the grand final last year in that 4-3 win. Very clinical finishes.
Yeah, definitely. In front of goals, Riley does step it up, and they'll be looking for her to do that today. So you'll see them look for her in that box to deliver and obviously get the one in the net.
Imogen Thomasone, the New Lambton keeper, formerly of Merewether United. She won a grand final with United back in 2015. All rolled out wide here for Courtney Anderson. Returns the favour. Neat 1-2 played with Played inside as Anderson cuts it across goal, and well defended by Stacey Day in the end. Pepper trying to square it up, but Riley Dobson, good energy from her. Gouffre, she also scored 2 goals in last year's 4-3 grand final win. McDonald was just clipped there late by Cochrane. Now there's a foot race on, and it's Tamara Nash who has won that for the moment. She scored in the last 4 matches for Merewether. She cuts it back, a attempted snapshot from Braithwaite. A neat 1-2 as they link up down the right, New Lambton. Cochrane trying to feed the ball into Amos's legs. She's had her best season goal-scoring wise, Georgia Amos, in the WPL. 12 this season. She scored 11 last campaign. She's got a free kick for her side now inside the opening minutes of this 2019 Herald Women's Premier League Grand Final. Merewether this year finished the regular season in 3rd place. 6 defeats. Their poorest season when they've made it all the way through to a grand final. Normally in 1st or 2nd place on the table through the regular season, but this year they've done it the hard way.
Tables returned this year.
Yeah, they lost back-to-back matches by a combined margin of 14-0. 9-0 to your South Wallsend and 5-0 to this New Lambton side in round 8. Stacey Day lets this run on to Thomasone. I know they did have a lot of players out, though.
Yeah, definitely. And Cass Copen mentioned that in the game preview, that they did have a few out, and there was definitely games that you could tell when there were quite a few players out in the WPL this year made a difference.
Yeah, these two sides have met on 8 occasions in the WPL. 2 wins for Merewether, 2 for New Lambton, and 4 draws. That shows you just how tight it's been. Here's Tara Andrews.
Think this year Merewether have actually beaten New Lambton in the season, so...
No, it's been New Lambton with a couple of wins and a draw most recently. Round 15, that one at Myambla Oval. Ellie Withers tries to push that one up the line. Sarah Hartree was the other member of that trio alongside Withers and Jamie Ellis, who'd played in every grand final win for Merewether, but she ruptured her ACL in the last few rounds of the season, which is terrible for her. Nicknamed Turbo, she's very, very quick. Unfortunately, we won't get to see that speed on show this afternoon.
No, not this year, so I hope she has a quick recovery. It's been a few ACLs, MCLs this year.
Yeah, it's not good. Not a good injury at all. At the professional level, you know, you're looking at about 6-7 months, but at a local level, it's basically a year.
Yeah.
It's all over. So, New Lambton with the goal kick, and it's Stacey Day to take, who's playing her first grand final in 6 years. She lost her most recent one back in 2013 against Adamstown. She was playing for Lake Macquarie, lost that 4-3. 3 grand finals previously, 1 win. So both sides just trying to get themselves into this one. And Ellie Hayes is just taking word off the assistant referee on the far side. The throw is with Merewether United. Decent day it's been so far for New Lambton. They won the reserve grade grand final in a penalty shootout. Adamstown won the 17s against Warners Bay 3-1, and Mid-North Coast 3-0 over Merewether United. Good to see a range of clubs on show. That's the best part of that scoreboard over there. It's not just 1 or 2 clubs.
It was quite a good group of clubs in all finals this year. I think there was only Thornton maybe missed out.
Just thinking off the top of my head, I think you're right.
Yeah.
So Merewether look to clear their lines. I just remember last year, Cass, we know of the rivalry between Merewether and Warners Bay, but it just seemed like such an intense start, whereas this season it's been a little bit of a slow start to the grand final.
It's more possession or calculated. They're looking to play feet, keep possession, and as we see, that's New Lambton have probably had a little bit less, but now come into the front third for the first time.
Decent ball in there, but Tara Andrews couldn't quite reel it in. Here's Pepper looking for a decent delivery. She's won her side a corner, Emmeline Pepper, 17 years of age. 7 goals this season for the former Jets Academy player. First year with the Eagles. She scored 2 goals against Merewether earlier in the season. Ball in. Tara Andrews and Stacey Day, the tall timber in the box. Couldn't get on the end of it. Not a bad delivery at all. Sophie Jones beats a couple, squares it across goal. Stacey Day was waiting there again. Another former Merewether United player, Sophie Jones, scored in that 2015 grand final win for Merewether. That 3-2 result over Valentine. I'm sorry, Cass, there will be one year where I don't bring it up, but I swear every year it comes.
It does come.
It comes up
every year.
Even though it's 4 years ago now. There's always connections.
Oh, well.
That was a wonderful grand final. It was a wonderful... Gee, we've had some wonderful WPL grand finals the last few years. 2 4-3 results going Merewether's way previously. Warners Bay's 1-0 win over Wallsend probably wasn't the greatest, but the year before...
They've all been very close.
3-2, yeah, exactly. That's all you can hope for on grand final day. Tight result in the end as Dobson.
Both teams.
Sophie Jones just had her legs taken out from under her there by Dobson, legally so according to Ellie Hayes, is with us. Now Gouffre.
They're both trying to go central, so they've got quite condensed players in that middle section of the field.
Now Riley Dobson trying to get that right boot free. Finds the pass to Braithwaite. And now Dobson! She delivers on grand final day once again. And Merewether, the underdogs, ahead.
From Merewether United, number 8, Riley Dobson.
Like clockwork, Cass.
Yeah, and that's what we were talking about. Anywhere in that box, if Riley's got an opportunity, she'll put him away, and that's exactly what she did. Bottom left-hand corner, it was a great strike just on the 18. And whilst Imogen tried to get there, it was in the back of the net.
Another grand final, another goal. Merewether lead by a goal to 0. And it was Dobson who scored twice at that end last year. She's got another one at the southern end of Rockwell Automation Park. She curls this one across to Courtney Anderson. Stepped inside all of a sudden. There's a bit of energy in this one from Merewether United. Anderson, who scored in the most recent meeting between these two. Tell you what, I don't know if Thomasone had that covered. I do not know if she did. Not a bad effort from Taylor Braithwaite, who scored for Merewether 2 years ago in the grand final. She had last year off. She scored in that grand final win over Warners Bay in 2017. She's back after playing for Newcastle City in the AFL, Women's AFL last year. She won the grand final, and she kicked a goal in that match as well.
Yeah, so you'll actually see that from Merewether today. That any opportunity that they'll have outside the 18, they'll look to put one away. So Imogen will have to be on her toes and in the right position to make sure that she's on top of those ones.
So New Lambton can have to fight from behind here. Andrews, not a bad ball in, looking for Lauren Allen, playing her first grand final. Because basically every other season, when she has been in a side that's made the grand final or in contention, she's gone back to the US to play for her college. She's played for a couple, Anderson and Butler, over in the US. As here is an opportunity almost for New Lambton. Almost an own goal there. Nikki Jones backtracking. She has a wry smile. Alison Lowe gives her the thumbs up. Former Newcastle Jets players, those two. They played together during the 8-9 campaign. Did Jones and Logue.
Merewether are calling for a corner on that one and wasn't given, so...
Yeah, Alison Logue was crying out there. Here's Toria Campbell up and over the top, searching for Tara Andrews. She's had a wretched run in grand finals. 5th grand final with her 3rd club, but just the one win. That was in 2016 in that win for Warners Bay against Wallsend. That's Toria Campbell, the centre back for New Lambton. Now Jones.
And Toria for the last couple of games actually hasn't been playing in the central defence role.
Liz Amos just with some space out on the right. And now Tara Andrews, look at that turn and strike, and it's in. Tara Andrews, of course she was going to score on grand final day. She hit it from distance, she hit it with authority, and it's 1-all. The Eagles respond.
And that's a classic Tara Andrews goals. She does that all the time. She turns, she holds it on the foot and then strikes, and you've got to be prepared for that as a defender. She'll do that all day.
So there you go. The Kingpins have delivered on each side. Dobson for Merewether, Andrews for New Lambton.
And you'll see New Lambton's formation, which I'm quite familiar with. They'll run a 4-3-1-2. And
you can see Andrews and Allen up front. Is that?
That's correct. Sophie sort of sits in behind, and then Amos will make that run on the wing as well.
And to be honest, it's been Merewether who have probably been the better side thus far. And Tara Andrews just goes bang from outside the box. And it's 1-1. And you could say Riley Dobson did likewise. Just a half chance on the edge of the box. Puts it in the corner.
And that'll be the difference of the game, those opportunities where those players step up and just execute.
So Campbell linking up with Day, and no clearance was blocked by Tamara Nash, and well, the spin wasn't great for Riley Dobson. If the bounce was a little kinder, there were some problems for the Eagles. Jenna Kennedy did well enough. Former Redback, 2nd year at New Lambton. She's actually one of 2 players, alongside Lisa Cochran, who have played in every match for the Eagles over their 2 years in the WPL.
And that's a good record.
Very consistent.
Consistency is the key to getting girls teams into the grand final, making sure players are consistent each week, and it turns the game when you're looking for those people to stability in their positions. Cochran dictates in the back there when she sits in that 6th defending role. When she came off last week, I think it changed New Lambton's game.
Tara Andrews putting some pressure on the Merewether back line. Clearance wasn't the greatest, but it'll do in the end. Courtney Anderson links up with Gouffre, and here's Tamara Nash. Goals in a last 4 for Nash, and she's after one in the grand final, and I tell you what, she almost had one if it wasn't for Thomasone. She's hunting another one. She's the sister of Matt Nash, who played in the A-League as a goalkeeper for Sydney FC, the Jets, and also the Mariners. He was actually the keeper that played in the match against LA Galaxy.
Okay, yep.
Matt Nash. Pretty certain he came on for a portion of that one. As the ball cut across goal by Sophie Jones. Merewether really had to get a touch on that because Tara Andrews was just waiting there at the top of the D. Andrews rolls it straight into the path of Ellie Withers, who read that one like it was in last week's newspaper. She's going to try and drop it over the top for Riley Dobson, who's rushing through. Thomasone was a little bit slow there to react. Maybe she was just cool as a cucumber.
Not sure whether the wind just held it up or she's actually holding a knee, so maybe she has an injury after that last save.
Now Jenna Kennedy. And there's a handball and all that. She says, what me? But there was definitely a handball. Probably a little unfortunate because it ricocheted around. No time for her to react. And if you have just joined us, Tara Andrews and Riley Dobson, the goal scorers thus far. As expected, you'd probably say.
Yes, you would. But then again, Merewether have quite a few different goal scorers this year, I think.
Yeah, New Lambton relying on Andrews and also Lauren Allen. Georgia Amos as well, who's in possession now. 13 goals for the season. Neat 1-2. And Amos is rushing away. Can she return the favour to Allen? She can't, but she'll win her side a corner. New Lambton looks to build some pressure. Sophie Jones heading over to take. And this is where New Lambton have a distinct advantage. And Merewether have got some tall players, but
yeah,
Tara Andrews and Stacey Day just dwarf them, don't they?
They do.
Here's the corner in. It's close to Logue, who got there for the punch. Fell for Allen. Ricocheted across the face of goal.
That was a great save by Logue on that one.
Wonderful save from Alison Logue. 6 clean sheets this season. And now Sophie Jones bearing down on goal. It was always rising, though, for the former Merewether striker. Speaking goal scorers for Merewether, Alison Logue, she scored 3 and a double in
Mid-North Coast?
Against Mid-North Coast in round 3. Not bad for a goalkeeper. I think she was playing outfield that afternoon because their backup keeper, Taylor Gray, was in goals. Yeah, interesting. It was a big result. It was 5-1 in the end. Gouffre. Now McDonald along the tarmac to Anderson. She scored 13, their second highest goal scorer this year, as Braithwaite collected Cochrane. Well, her boot. Well, hang on a second. How is that a goal kick? That's definitely come off Cochrane last, surely.
And the crowd definitely agrees with you, Ben.
I know Ellie Hayes hasn't got a great position from the middle of the park. We had the perfect angle, but
I didn't see if Alison called that on the line either. I wasn't able to see, so that should have definitely been a corner.
Hooked around the corner by Tara Andrews. And now Ellie Withers, she's done a mountain of work so far. Jamie Ellis to Withers. Braithwaite links up with Gouffre. Now Campbell. It'll sit here for Braithwaite. Can she drop it in front of Anderson? In a foot race with Emily Wicks. It's going to beat them over the line. 2019 Herald Women's Premier League Grand Final on Bar TV Sports. Ben Homer and South Wall's end coach and new technical director at New Lambton Eagles, Cass Wright, with us.
Yes, new position. Looking forward to that.
Big season ahead next year.
Yes,
and
definitely.
terrific as well because it's overseeing the male and female program, and you are a B licensed coach.
That's correct. I'm the first female TD in Northern in a Premier club.
Yeah, that is wonderful. Good on the Eagles for appointing you to that role. Very ambitious club and a bright future ahead. Biggest junior base in the region, definitely, if not potentially the country, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it's a massive junior base and there's lots of work to do, and the guys have set up a good grounding for it, and we're looking to progress that hopefully to a NPL status.
Yeah, I won't comment on that. I might get into trouble. There's Merewether. There's Anderson. Couldn't quite wrap her boot around it. 6 clean sheets for Imogen Thomasone this season. So 6 clean sheets for Logue, 6 for Thomasone. But Logue with a couple of goals. I should say a few goals, 3 goals this season. Here's Jones.
She didn't have much of an option then. The players were all standing in between lines.
Yeah,
in the lines, and giving her no option to look for a pass.
Yeah, Emmeline Pepper was a little deeper than she would have liked. Here's Wicks.
And if we have a look, Merewether have gone to 1v1 man marking. And that's probably what caused that then.
And what would be Cass Coppin's reason for doing that?
I noticed she did that the other week too, and it actually worked against Warners Bay. So that's when they had their 3-1 win in the semis, and it actually worked for them quite well.
Question for me, though, is do you only want one player on Tara Andrews? Who are you looking to maybe...
Well, as you can see, it's very clear now, so as long as...
Yep.
They're capable.
100%. Well, there you go. There's some pressure applied on Tara Andrews by Katie Gray. Now you can clearly see that now. As Jenna Kennedy delivers a cross goal. Lauren Allen and now Andrews, and somehow the ball has stayed out. What a save from Alison Logue. That's a couple of huge saves.
Yeah, she had first and second saves in there. It's totally essential to keep that ball out of the net.
Well, you can see why she represented Australia at the Under-19 FIFA World Cup back in 2004. Quality goalkeeper, now 32 years of age. Here's the corner. Cross goal, there's Logue again. And the ball has been punched away, not away from danger though. Sophie Jones is there, stepped away from Gouffre. Now at the back post was Lauren Allen.
I think that sun's causing the girls a bit of issue when that ball comes in. I think that was on the last corner day where she couldn't quite clearly see it and missed.
And her height is a little bit of a disadvantage as well, isn't it? Lauren Allen up against Nikki Jones. So Dobson has been a little quiet since the goal. It's been New Lambton who have just controlled the territory for a period of time in this one. Cochrane just thumps it inboard. Not too much science behind that ball. Neither that one. Well, maybe from Stacey Day. And if it wasn't for a slip from Tara Andrews, there were probably some more questions that were going to be asked there of the United defence.
Yes.
New Lambton in their second season in the WPL. First grand final. They made the finals last year, knocked out by Merewether in the semis. And Merewether in their third consecutive grand final, looking to win 3 straight. They've never lost a grand final. 15, 17, 18. The triumphs. And here's a free kick.
Very successful team.
Very successful. And they open the scoring through Riley Dobson. Tara Andrews equalised. And we're at 1-1. Heading towards half-time. This one a little bit delayed because we had extra time in the reserve grade match. Here's Ellis. It's curling towards that near post. Thomasone thumps it down the park. And now Tara Andrews with a boot in. She's saying she was bumped there by Jamie Ellis. Well, there's a bit of conversation there. Ellis and Andrews. Oh, just hang on a second. Both of them just had a few words to say to each other. Andrews saying it may have come off Ellis, but I thought there was a bit more to it.
Yeah, I think so.
So just watch that space. Defender and striker. Always a good duel. 2 experienced players there. Here's Leah Giuffre and Dobson.
And Anderson and Dobson have switched sides.
Giuffre going up there with Pepper. It's going to bounce into her path here. She's beaten a couple. It's like a slalom course, and she tries to, well, maybe a half cross, half shot in the end, and Thomasone will collect. It's a turn, an attempted turn from Tamara Nash. Cochrane back on the ball for New Lambton, and then given away again. So New Lambton giving away some cheap possession down in their own end here, and they can't afford to do that. They've gotten away with it though.
No, definitely you'll see that Anderson and Dobson will take those opportunities and look to create a goal-scoring opportunity for them. So they've got to be on their toes, New Lambton, in that area.
Just having a look in other football matches this afternoon, the NPL semi-finals. It is 1-1 in that one as well. This one we're just heading towards the half-an-hour mark. Stacey Day taking her time here. The 30-year-old launching it long. Sophie Jones on the turn. And then McDonald just with a toe poke. And the ball is really running along this surface at Western.
And I'm not sure if they got the rain that they did at Spears Point yesterday, but it's quite good to see. And we've got one of those turnovers or opportunities that we were talking about.
Yeah, Dobson now just getting away from Wicks, coming down towards the corner, and in the end it's going to come to naught for Merewether United. New Lambton again, though, they are making some mistakes inside their own defensive third, or definitely their own half. They've made a few in the last few minutes, and it hasn't cost them yet, but you sense it will if they keep giving up possession cheaply.
Knowing Merewether and what they can achieve from that, they have to make sure that their defensive structure remains, they stay strong, and that they don't make those errors.
Well, look at the diminutive frame of Lauren Allen, just beating defenders left, right and centre, and in the end, she couldn't make it towards goal, but that was a wonderful run. Well, Tara Andrews just sucked in the defenders, and Allen went for a run, looking to add to her tally of 32 for the season. Said Andrews with 46. Well, Allen's had a great season as well with 32 as Tamara Nash.
And I think she's had quite a few assists as well.
Her opposite number, Toria Campbell, up the line. This should bounce nicely here for Andrews. It does. She pushes the pass to Allen. Pushed wide by Jones. Expert defending from, well, it was expert defending. Wow. And now it's fallen for Allen. Can Andrews take advantage of it? Deflected up off Gray. And Logue will clutch it in.
Nikki Jones hitting it into her own player, which nearly created an opportunity for Allen.
Came off Ellie Withers and very nearly backfired for Merewether. As Pepper goes in hard there on Nash. It's a strong challenge. You heard it through the mics. Now Allen skated away from the attempted tackle of McDonald and took on the strike, and no power behind it. Ellis was able to control. I'm just thinking, is that worth letting run through to Alison Logue? Because if you control that and it deflects into the corner,
yes,
it's a disaster, isn't it? But it was moving slowly though, so Ellis had enough time. Wicks. The path looked to be a little heavy.
I think she's just going to get it.
Pepper, yep, she'll track this one down inside the line. Returns the favour to Wicks. And that's a lovely ball in. Allen couldn't make Merewether pay. They just left Emily Wicks with too much space. And she delivered a pinpoint ball. Now the ball running down the other end of the ground with Courtney Anderson. It's going to be a goal kick. I think that's a good decision from up here. It looked to come last off Merewether. I know there's been some controversial ones in this first half. That one the officials got spot on.
It seems to be a little bit more urgency from the Merewether team.
Campbell. And now Andrews. Run from Toria Campbell. Andrews rolls the ball towards Pepper, but Jamie Ellis will get there first. And then Riley Dobson was in front of Wicks, but then Wicks used her body well, really well there, to win back possession for the Eagles, who won the reserve grade grand final. A few players that played in that match on the bench for them this afternoon, so that match went into extra time and penalties, so they'll be pretty fatigued.
Yes, they were looking fatigued in that last extra time.
So we'll see how Keelan Hamilton utilises his substitutions later in the match. Stu Frey.
And no goalkeeper on the bench.
No goalkeeper on the bench. They have Taylor Bride, who's actually the leading scorer in reserve grade this season. She is the goalkeeper, the designated goalkeeper for New Lambton. It's a special talent, apparently, as Sophie Jones wins possession from Braithwaite. A long way from goal, though. She bumps away from Katie Gray. She's nipping at her heels for the moment. She's done well there, Katie Gray. Was originally beaten, but just stayed with Jones and ensured that it's only going to be a throw for New Lambton.
New Lambton is sitting very deep, so they've got 6 players outside the front third. So they've only got Tara, Sophie and Lauren.
Well, Merewether's problems this season, had a good record at home, just 2 defeats in 11 at Myambla Oval, but away from home, 6 wins and 4 losses. So not great on the road, but all counts for little on grand final day, though. Jones goes for goal, and I think the wind may have just done enough to hold that up for Alison Logue.
Pardon?
I think the wind just held that up enough for Logue.
It did. It actually looked like she was outside the box in that last kick. We'll have to go for a replay for that one.
Well, it is something that comes up quite a bit. Goalkeepers heading outside their box. It's a rare one. Very good intervention from Amos, but
straight to Merewether.
Very disappointing ball. Dobson scored the opener this afternoon for Merewether. 26th of the season. As Jones goes in and makes the tackle. Measured the pass, did Katie Gray. New Lambton with possession. Jenna Kennedy won it, and now Amos onto Andrews. Rolls it out to Jenna Kennedy. Now she curls it in front of Amos, but Merewether's defence up to the task again. Cochrane gets in the way.
Ellis slipped over in the box there too. Behind
a few players slipping over, actually. And I did notice it in the NPL a few weeks ago when we were up here at Western, and that probably due to lack of rain. The pitch may be a bit hard. Not the same grip that you get with your studs. Just defensively, Merewether, that's really been the cornerstone of their charges to the championship the last few seasons. When they won back in 17 and last year, also 2015. This year, third best defence, 39 goals conceded. But if you look at those 2 matches, you take those 14 goals out, they conceded in 2, and they're around what New Lambton conceded, 24. So that's the thing. Their defence is top notch. It's just that they had a couple of matches where they were playing with out their main players.
Squads.
Yeah, exactly. And third best attack, 78 goals scored for New Lambton. Best attack with 112 goals. Best defence with 24 conceded. Stacey Day. And then Ju Frey with the shot. She's saying it came off Stacey Day, and Ellie Hayes agrees. So now Imogen Thomasone just looking a little confused. Jamie Ellis is going to come down to take the corner.
And it's on her favoured foot, so New Lambton will have to make sure that they don't concede here.
Well, I said earlier the wind was from the east-southeast. Swung around a bit as the corner delivered across goal. Maybe even just behind Jamie Ellis, that corner, making it difficult for New Lambton as Andrews up the line for Allen. Neat turn and got away from Jones easily. They've got a 2-on-1 here, New Lambton. As Lauren Allen rushing in on goal. She's got a teammate on the inside, and Georgia Amos slaps the thighs. She was frustrated the ball wasn't delivered earlier. And I don't think those two are going to have a conversation. No words exchanged between Allen and Amos. Yep, not impressed. Because they just closed in.
Yeah, it's definitely in
on
the
Allen.
open. Just needed that square ball across and potential tap in.
So Sophie Jones, this is another tough corner. Remembering that they did concede from a corner in last year's grand final, Merewether. Amos took a deflection. Alison Logue will take. That was in about the opening 10 minutes. Nadia Squires on that occasion with the corner. Very good set piece exponent is Squires. Not the grand final this year with Warners Bay missing out.
We just hear the coaches on the sideline starting to get a bit vocal now in these last phase of play before half-time.
Critical period, isn't it?
Definitely.
The championship minutes before half-time and before full-time. And Riley Dobson on the bounce. Emily Wicks has knocked that out.
That was a definite corner.
Well, yeah, definitely a corner, but could have she done a little more there to ensure it wasn't a corner and maybe hooked it over the sideline. It was bouncing up awkwardly. There's plenty of bounce in the pitch, which has made things tough for players to control this afternoon. Comes back to the lack of rain and the hardness of the surface.
Unlike Roxby's point had yesterday, it was underwater, I think it sounds.
Here's the corner.
That was a good header by Cochrane out for another corner.
Pressure, though, builds here on the Eagles. And that is a poor corner from Jamie Ellis. She'll wish she had a time over again.
Should be disappointed with that one.
And they scored just before half-time last year in stoppage time, Merewether. It was 2-1 at that point. That made it 3-1. And that probably won them the match in the end. You could look back and go, that was a huge goal in the context of the match because Warners Bay fought back late and couldn't quite reel in the 4 goals that United scored. Now Tara Andrews. Can she score another for New Lambton? And New Lambton are appealing for a free kick. Andrews was filthy. It was Braithwaite who committed the challenge. Not a foul, though.
Amos was again spare on that wide flank.
Here's Anderson across goal. Well, that'd frustrate New Lambton further if Merewether had have found a way to score there. Riley Dobson, a predator there at the back post.
And that's one of the plays that they do really well is Merewether, the counter-attack. So they go from defence to attack really quickly. So their transition play.
And both sides have been doing it well this afternoon.
Yeah.
It's in vogue at the moment. Counter-attacking football. McDonald to Withers. Strong challenge from Emmeline Pepper. She reefs it up the line and it went underground. And there you go, there's that bounce. Not expected by Ellie Withers. Bounced up onto a knee. New Lambton with the throw just relieves the pressure for a moment. Now Jones. Charging up the line, has too much space for speed, I should say, for Jane McDonald, and she goes for goal. It took an awkward deflection. She scored from outside the box, a goal in the grand final 4 years ago. She tried her luck again there. So New Lambton, I said, coming into this one loss in their last 24. Well, Merewether, they were in good form as well. Just 1 loss in their last 10. In their 4th grand final in 5 seasons.
Yeah, Merewether came back very strong in that last round.
Yeah, they only missed out in 2016 by the barest of margins against Warners Bay in that semi-final series. It's Tara Andrews. Holds off Jones. Well, surely that's a free kick. And it is. And a card. And I think that's fair enough. That's a cynical foul from Nikki Jones. And she says, well, I'll take that. And she's got a smile on her face as well, taking one for the team. That's what players call a good foul, and us neutrals find frustrating.
Sometimes they're necessary, Ben.
Well, you understand.
Yes, I do. Last game, I think we got a yellow and a red out of that one.
Well, that's the thing. Nikki Jones has got to be careful now. Stacey Day hangs it up for Andrews. Not the power, though, on the header.
And that will be in the back of her mind as well, too.
There's a good header from Toria Campbell. And this ball's just going to sit. I don't think it's going to cross the line. A bit awkward for New Lambton here, and Jenna Kennedy's done well to win a throw out of all of that. So the 2019 Herald Women's Premier League Grand Final on Bar TV Sports. Great to have your company. Ben Homer and Cass Wright, former South Walls End coach, now New Lambton Technical Director, with me in commentary. And it's New Lambton, the Premiers, who lost one match during the regular season. The new kids on the block, their second season in the WPL against Merewether in their fourth grand final in 5 seasons. Here's an intervention from Emily Wicks. Remembering that New Lambton are looking to achieve the double, the only side who has won the double is the team they're playing against. They did it in 2015. No other side in the history of the WPL, dating back to 2009, has done that.
Yeah, it's a hard challenge because other teams have stepped up during that grand final and take the double away. Not an easy feat at all.
Yeah, and a lot of sides have been knocked out in the semis, haven't they? That have gone through the regular season.
Was it the Adamstown and the Jets one? Was that the big scoreline? A couple of years? I can't remember.
Yeah, I've got them all written down. Adamstown and the Jets, and that was the Jets last year. Pretty sure. That would have been 2013. Well, actually, 2014 it would have been. 13 was that grand final that Stacey Day played in that 4-3 loss for her Lake Macquarie against Adamstown.
And the free kick's gone the other way this time against Jones.
So heading towards half-time. Dobson opening the scoring for Merewether. And Tara Andrews, the equaliser for New Lambton. Toria Campbell, that was an important header because Dufresne was next to her. We know what she can do on the big stage.
Definitely.
Campbell just trot on the ball. Good composure. Now Wicks. Well, that was very good composure from both Campbell and Wicks to get themselves out of a pickle that they found themselves in.
There's no pressure on the ball here. If she carries through.
Well, Pepper finds Allen. But the first touch took her into the path of Nikki Jones. Found Sophie Jones. And Nikki Jones is going to knock it up the ground. Falls for Cochrane. Looked to be overhit. Pepper's going to have to get on a bike, and she decides she'll just let that one run. She looks a little fatigued. Does Emmeline Pepper. And Ellie Hayes calls an end to the first 45 minutes at Rockwell Automation Park. And it was Merewether, the underdogs, who scored first. Riley Dobson plonking it in the bottom left corner from just outside the box. Really good finish. And then Tara Andrews said, what you can do, I can do as well. She scored from outside the box for New Lambton and made it 1-1. So half-time at Rockwell Automation Park. New Lambton Eagles, the Premiers, won. The champions, Merewether United, won. Cass Wright, looking forward to this second half. I feel this is just building. It's a little bit of a slow burn at the moment, but we are building up to some kind of crescendo.
Yeah, definitely. The pressure's on here. What can they do to overcome the other team to get the win? So, yeah.
All right.
Challenge on.
Bit of Tones and I playing. Do you get into that?
No.
Bit of Dance Monkey?
No.
I thought you were trying some dance moves there, Cass. Anyway, we'll take a break.
My little one does. He's got that thing on the YouTube that he watches dance moves and he says, "Come on, Mum," and I said, "No thanks, I'll stick to my soccer."
Well, we'll be back in 10 minutes for the second half of this Herald Women's Premier League Grand Final. New Lambton and Merewether all locked up at 1-1. Welcome back to Rockwell Automation Park. It is the 2019 Herald Women's Premier League Grand Final, and it is the Premiers New Lambton up against the defending champions Merewether United. And as it stands, it is 1-1. Nothing between them. Tara Andrews scored the equaliser. She's got the ball at her feet now after Riley Dobson opened the scoring for Merewether. We're underway in the second half. 45 minutes away potentially from finding out who the champion is in 2019, Cass Wright. And we'll just hang on here because Tara Andrews could be in on goal. Ball just got stuck behind her and it's going to fall for Alison Logue. And honestly, we can't see this which way this one's going to go.
No, at this stage it's quite close. Obviously, the great goals scored by both Riley and Tara. And it'll take another one of those goals to separate the two, I think.
Well,
that
goals,
isn't a good error.
No, and Courtney Anderson, who has scored against New Lambton this year, was bearing down on goal. And here's Dufresne. Thomasone dealt with it at the near post. Former Merewether goalkeeper. So New Lambton and Merewether, these two sides locked up this afternoon and locked up in the head-to-head duels as well, as Lauren Allen rushes inside the 18, cuts it across. Well defended by Ellie Withers. And here's Amos. Darting inside the box, the touch was too heavy and Nikki Jones was able to pounce.
Definitely did well there.
Former W League player with the Jets, Nikki Jones, and it's a little bit of a pinball in the box until Jamie Ellis just put her left boot through it, as she's done so many times over the years for Merewether. Gray and McDonald. Here is Dufresne. Rolled inboard towards McDonald. Neat triangle from United, and then Nash. Well, here's an opportunity for Courtney Anderson to rush towards goal, and maybe the ball just caught under her boot a little there.
Yeah, definitely. There's a bit of that today.
Thomasone's clearance over the sideline. Here's Cochrane. Free kick going the way of United. In terms of grand final experience, New Lambton with 6 players who have played in a grand final. Thomasone, Tara Andrews, Stacey Day, Toria Campbell, Imogen Tusek, who's on the bench, and Sophie Jones. And then for Merewether, 10 players. As here's a free kick launched long, and Thomasone took it nicely. She looked a little concerned for a moment there because Jamie Ellis, she is a wonderful free kick taker. Scored in the 2015 grand final from the set piece. And Tara Andrews let herself be nutmegged there. You don't see that too often as Pepper. Crosses it in behind Andrews, sits nicely, and she couldn't quite nudge the pass in front of Lauren Allen.
She controlled it there well, but unfortunately couldn't get a hold of it, and it's gone out.
Well, how good was the nutmeg in the build-up? She made it clear for all to see. She'll be playing with the Jets in the W League again this season. Scorer of big goals for both the Eagles and also for the Jets, Tara Andrews. And this lady in possession scored a big goal for Merewether 2 years ago in the grand final to get them back into it when they were down 2-0 against Warners Bay. Taylor Braithwaite, but pass went astray, and New Lambton with a throw.
And I think we've got a close one today, Ben, so maybe next goal could potentially see.
Yeah, if we get one. So Stacey Day and Jane McDonald, two very strong players. Here's the throw for Dufresne, and just not on the same page there as Courtney Anderson. She is a pocket rocket, isn't she?
Yes, definitely.
their second highest goal scorer this season.
Can't
Merewether.
underestimate her pace.
And now Andrews trying to find another player with some pace, Lauren Allen, but she needed rockets in her boots to catch up with that.
No, good run in behind. She was actually had beaten the defence, but yes, the ball was a bit too quick. Easy one for Logue to pick up.
And she scored in every meeting between these two sides this season, Lauren Allen. 5 goals in the 3 matches. 2, 2 and 1. Her goal scoring streak against Merewether as Dobson with the about face, Dufresne. Here's Dobson. Plays it into Courtney Anderson. In on goal, Courtney Anderson! Merewether's pocket rocket with a goal that puts them ahead. That could prove vital. Well, we were just singing her praises, Cass.
Yeah, definitely.
That's the reverse commentator's curse.
I'm not used to that with you. But yes, she definitely is, Anderson, one to watch out for. She just gets those runs in behind and supports Riley. As you could see, it was a clear 1-2 and a great goal from outside 6-yard box.
Well, she scored against Warners Bay in the first leg of the semi-final, now in the grand final. She just arrowed the run in on goal. And she deserves that.
And it'll be interesting to see how New Lambton respond to this one.
Here's Andrews. She responded last time. Goes in hard there on Nikki Jones. New Lambton have got to step up now. They haven't lost to Merewether this season. A 5-0 win, a 4-2 win, most recently a 1-1 draw. And that's 2-2 for Courtney Anderson against New Lambton. Scored in that 1-1 draw in round 15.
Be interesting to see if the man marking, as we can see out here now, holds off for Merewether, or combination play with New Lambton, which Tara Andrews and Lauren Allen actually takes place, and as they have in the first half, actually beaten them at times. So,
well, Cochrane in a foot race with McDonald, and she just got there in time. New Lambton haven't been in this kind of situation
too often.
Yeah, not on many occasions this year as Amos cuts it across goal.
Well, they had one the other week. So, good practice. And that was a crucial response that they had to have to make it to the grand final, so they responded well.
Yeah, last week, down 4-3 against your South Walls NCAS, and if you guys scored another, New Lambton would have been gone.
Yes.
Had it finished 5-3. Couple of cracking semi-final legs, so they responded. They've responded with some late goals on occasions this year, New Lambton. So they have got it in them. But do they have it in them on grand final day? Because there's an extra kind of pressure about it. And
as we know, I think Merewether just about the masters of grand finals and winning them. So
yeah, they're after the three-peat this afternoon and a fourth in 5 years. They've never lost a grand final in the WPL. Merewether United, as Cochrane's clearance was blocked by Gray.
Definitely.
And then Andrews, well, this was a rough collision.
Lack of communication there. There was 4 in that one.
Yeah, Withers has got up slowly, but Dobson has wriggled free of a couple. Riley Dobson ran away from goal, found Anderson, who was offside.
And Anderson too quick for the defenders there, and she's only slightly offside, but definitely got in behind again. And as we know, Riley can hit it on both her left and right foot. So.
And it was a great finish as well, because we know the quality of both goalkeepers, Thomasone and Logue, and she just smashed it into the bottom left corner. Really good finish from Courtney Anderson. From a young player as well. She played last year in the under-20s grand final for Football Mid-North Coast against Warners Bay. They lost that 1-0. She's made the move to Newcastle for studies and playing with United and scoring in a grand final. Her 14th of the season. None bigger than that.
And the Merewether crowd's lifted to try and get the girls another goal to make it a very challenging grand final for New Lambton.
Well, they've done it all, Merewether. 2015, they were behind in that grand final. They fought back. They fought back in 2017 last year. They held on. They got ahead.
And Copen's just made some changes here. I couldn't quite hear what she was saying, but I'll have to have a look. I think she's actually told them the man mark tighter.
Well, it's incredible. This is actually the first grand final that Merewether have been in where they haven't been behind at one point. Every other grand final they've been behind and they've fought back, and today they have not been in that situation. Cochrane, very resilient side. New Lambton are going to have to try and bottle a bit of that and use it themselves. McDonald. Now Jones, the only player on a yellow card. She just stepped away from Amos like she wasn't there.
And that's great play for Merewether.
Just using the width of the pitch very well here, Merewether.
Definitely changed the point.
Anderson to Nash.
They're up in the front third.
Tamara Nash would love to score in 5 consecutive matches. And Anderson rolls it into the middle. Gray! Just one goal this season for Katie Gray. And wouldn't have she loved that in the grand final. That came against Wall's End back in round 12. And if she hits it a metre either side of Thomasone, it's 3-1.
Andrews dropped in to try and pick up the ball.
Well, New Lambton are treading water at the moment. Anderson to Nash. Good challenge from Campbell. She's had to stand tall there, and Emily, I should say it was Pepper. Here's Emily Wicks. She's turned her back, did Pepper, as the pass was rolled towards her. So we've had 3 different grand final winners thus far. Could we make it 4? Mid-North Coast, Adamstown and New Lambton, the victors thus far. Braithwaite with a heavy first touch. Gave it up to Andrews, who's been heavily marked. But she has managed a goal. Amos, as the overlapping run from Kennedy, it ricochets nicely into her path. Even Riley Dobson, she's dropped back to do some defending. Lovely ball to Lauren Allen, who just cut it back. No, she hasn't just cut it back. It's crossed the line. Goal kick for Alison Logue.
That was well done by Allen then to get that ball. Unfortunately, just went out.
The overlapping run from Kennedy ricochets nicely. Just over half an hour remaining in this one. The Herald Women's Premier League Grand Final of 2019. And Alison Logue is taking a bit of time up here.
She's taken both gloves off, so that's, I don't think I've seen that before.
Definitely a ploy to time waste, because she could be doing this while the ball's at the other end of the ground. And when you're up 2-1 in the grand final, she's a very experienced player.
I think we've got our centre referee clearly stating that she stopped the watch there.
Well, referees do that all the time, but it really gets added on. Maybe Ellie Hayes is going to change that today, as Emmeline Pepper rushing away and angling the run. Found Andrews. Well, the frustration continued. Taylor Braithwaite, like a thief in the night, wins possession back for Merewether. What a performance from the side who finished 3rd on the table.
And they're stretching New Lambton today, definitely.
And New Lambton are fatiguing fast. Remembering this is the lowest Merewether have ever finished and made a grand final. Dobson could seal it here. Well, that is a great tackle in the end from Stacey Day. Is that a tackle which could change the course of this match that New Lambton will look back on at the end and be very thankful for? Because if she doesn't make that tackle, or it's a second late, it's a penalty.
Yep.
And all of a sudden now, Sophie Jones has space and time ahead of her. Feeds in Andrews! Great save, Alison Logue. Outstanding from the Merewether custodian once again. And I'll tell you what, that tackle from Stacey Day was getting bigger and bigger as close as Tara Andrews got to goal. And in the end, Logue made the save, but the pressure is still on. That's how quickly it can all just turn around. Jones hangs it up. Kennedy, it's an own goal. It's an own goal off Jane McDonald, and New Lambton equalise. And what a tackle down the other end of the ground from Stacey Day to keep them in it. And then they get rewarded at the other end, and it's 2-2.
Lambton Eagles 2, Merewether United 2.
Unfortunate for United. Very unfortunate. And Alison Logue could do nothing about it.
Yeah, that was a very bad ball off the shin. And went out of Logue's reach into the goal. But you're right, that was instrumental from Day in that tackle down the end of the box with Dobson. And we've switched ends. Great hit by Tara Andrews, and then corner with a goal.
Well, there you go. Well, that's two reverse commentators' curses, Cass. I don't know what's happening today.
We've got no rain or hail either from last year,
So we talked up Courtney Anderson and she scored. And then we talked up Stacey Day and whether that would change the match, the tackle. And, well, maybe it just did. Maybe it just did. If New Lambton go on to win it, they can look back at that moment from Stacey Day. 1-on-1 with Riley Dobson, who is rushing through on goal. Kennedy. Tara Andrews just holding off Braithwaite. All of a sudden, it's New Lambton with the momentum. Andrews is getting pulled, and Braithwaite has to be careful there. She was all over Tara Andrews. She'll get another touch here, Andrews, and Braithwaite was there again. Here we go, shoulder to shoulder, and now Dobson comes from behind. They're coming at Tara Andrews from all angles, and now Sophie Jones's pass is a poor one.
They have to. She's the one that's going to potentially give them that goal that they need, so they have to make sure that she doesn't do that prolific turn and hit. So,
well, it's a really good test for her with the W League not too far away. So Courtney Anderson, who put Merewether ahead, came off the boot of Cochrane, the pass on the way through. It's now Gray. It's going to hang up. And then Emily Wicks with the swivel. Withers. It'll bounce in front of Tara Andrews. And now Cochrane. Stacey Day, 30-year-old defender from the Eagles.
She's got some room in there.
In her fourth grand final, just one win from the three completed previously. Allen to Andrews, collected by Withers. Amos had her hands up again, asking for the free kick. Not forthcoming.
Miscommunication there by Merewether. So New Lambton take possession in the centre of the field.
So Wicks. Attempted touch on from Allen. Will fall for her. Hasn't really had a great opportunity this afternoon as Lauren Allen. And here is Riley Dobson rushing through. They've got a 3-on-3 here, Merewether. Allen is trying to catch up with Dobson. She feeds in Courtney Anderson looking for a second. And Anderson should get up here, and she's back in possession. Pressure from Allen. Now Campbell on the turn. Still Courtney Anderson. Cuts it across. Cochrane's touch was heavy. It fell for Dobson. Dobson with a strike. Day almost off the line, basically, because it was in if she didn't block it. And now Gray, another pinball in the box. Calmly, Campbell volleys it away. The blowtorch being applied by Merewether, though. It may fall here for Dobson. It will bounce up awkwardly. Stacey Day. Hasn't she been mighty?
Yes, definitely in that play there.
If you're looking for player of the match, surely she is right up there at this point in time, Stacey Day. Oh, handball in the box. There's the commentator's curse. I was waiting for it. Stacey Day, outstanding all afternoon. And the ball has popped up onto her arm.
That's devastating for Stacey there. And there's that sun that just caught.
And she looks absolutely shattered. And she shouldn't be, because she saved New Lambton on multiple occasions this afternoon. And I apologise, Stacey. I'm so sorry.
I've got no words, Ben. Yeah. But it did. Sun just caught her eye, put her hand up, ball bounced in with that horrible bounce that we've been talking about today, and we see a penalty.
So Merewether up 1-0, up 2-1. New Lambton have fought back twice. Will they have to fight back a third time if they're to keep alive the dream of the double?
And can Thomason keep this one out for Dobson? Keep them in the match.
Well, Thomason against her former club. Riley Dobson versus Thomason. And Riley rolls it into the corner. Cool, calm and composed. And Merewether lead by 3 goals to 2. 3 words to describe this United side. Nothing phases them. And the United fans are in full voice again. So Amos going for a run. They shouldn't lose hope though, New Lambton, because they've created more than enough chances.
Yeah, definitely. They can't get their heads down now. They really have to work together to bring this back. It's not unachievable, and they've done it before, so they've just got to band together.
And to be honest, unfortunate there for Stacey Day, but you could also say the goal that New Lambton scored, their equaliser, was unfortunate for Merewether.
Yes,
so
that's exactly right.
Luck going both ways, and I don't think New Lambton could cry foul and say we're unlucky if they go down this afternoon because of that penalty. Luck has run both ways this afternoon. So Carolina Kasic is heading out there for Emily Wicks. Another former Merewether United player. She played in their 2017 grand final triumph at Jack McLaughlin Oval at Edgeworth, that stunning fight back.
Yes, that's a good one.
Toronto last year, I should say Thornton last year, and then New Lambton Eagles since Thornton folded midway through the season.
Yeah,
in
it'll
2018.
Be interesting going into next year to see what's happening around the grounds with the clubs.
Yeah, it was the full 8 this year. Of course, last season it did drop to 6.
But a definite top 3 and a bottom, top 5 and a bottom 3. So
yeah, it's been clear this year, but I think the quality across the competition is increasing. You know, in years gone by, it was really the Merewether and Warners Bay show.
Yeah, that's right. Now
and this year there's five clubs, so
yeah.
I think that's great for the competition.
So it's just that hard work to get the 3, and we have got an even competition across the 8.
So Stacey Day's clearance has ricocheted away into the path of Tamara Nash, but Thomason rushed out of goal. So another Herald Women's Premier League decider and another cracker. Another close contest. It always delivers. And we've still got over 20 minutes left.
Which
so
is a long
much time.
It is. It's a lot of time in football. So New Lambton need to definitely take that to their advantage, that there's still 20 minutes on the clock, that they can definitely score one, if not 2 goals.
And we haven't even seen the best of Lauren Allen. And you could probably say Tara Andrews, she's been kept under the cosh. Wouldn't say any fault of her own.
1v man marking that they just haven't given them the space that they've normally had to run in between the lines and those runs in behind the defenders. So credit to Merewether in that regard.
Yeah. Credit Cass Coppin for that, who's been the head coach since 2015. 4 grand finals in that time. Only missed the grand final once since she took over the reins. Here's a strike from distance. Here's Lauren Allen. She gets her goal. We were waiting for it. And Lauren Allen, in her first grand final, scores her first grand final goal. And New Lambton come from behind for the 3rd time this afternoon.
And there's that run in behind we were talking about that we haven't seen too much of today, and it was perfect timing with just a tap, and it's gone.
Goal for New Lambton Eagles, scored by number 21, Lauren Allen. New Lambton Eagles 3, Merewether United 3.
So all of a sudden, Pepper, she's done well not to roll her ankle badly there as she went over the ball. And Lauren Allen, what a record she has in the WPL goal scoring wise. 96 goals in 95 matches in the WPL.
That's a good start.
Tara Andrews, 63 and 35. Riley Dobson, how about this? 138 in 109. 138 goals in 109 matches. And that's before this afternoon. So that's 140 and 110 on the run. 140 goals.
That's a fair amount of goals.
And here's a chance for another one, Tamara Nash. She's well on the way. Great season so far in 2019. 10 goals. And now Amos with acres of space. Nikki Jones, she's got to be careful. Lauren Allen with the back heel. She thought Tara Andrews was behind her. And now Sophie Jones, we've seen her strike from this kind of range before. Had too much pressure on her. And now Braithwaite to Nash. Returns it to Braithwaite. And Courtney Anderson scored their second. Just picks out Thomason. That seems like an age ago, doesn't it? When Courtney Anderson made it 2-1 to Merewether. It was 1-1 at half time.
Yeah, Anderson is very good at changing direction and running with the ball forward after she's had a back to it. And she just does that so well, which catches the defenders out, and that's where she scored last time. So, but I've noticed they put their new sub on her, New Lambton, so trying to keep her from scoring a second.
Almost inside the final quarter hour of this one. And knowing that I've got to get to Magic Park to call the Magic Maitland semi-final, this one's going to go into extra time. I just know it. So if you're hanging around watching, get ready for extra time because it's just going to happen today. There's Jenna Kennedy.
The reserve grand final.
We just knew it would happen as soon as that occurred. We'll wait and see. Sophie Jones rolls it out wide, and the strike from Pepper never had the power to trouble Alison Logue.
No, an easy save for the keeper.
And it's been Merewether who have been in front for most of it. New Lambton have had to come back 3 times. Down 1-0, 2-1, and 3-2. Amos just ran away from her. She has the option of Allen, who was very close. Now she's made the run up the line. Too much speed for Withers. Still Allen. Now Amos. Here's Andrews turning, and she just got smothered, didn't she?
Yeah, definitely.
Smothered big time. And now Amos's touch is going to take it over the line. So Cochrane can keep it inside the line. And Withers has got the ball in her hand. She's never lost a grand final. Ellie Withers. Been part of all of Merewether's wins alongside Jamie Ellis and coach Cass Coppin. McDonald.
That's all New Lambton at the back there.
Campbell. Another high-scoring WPL Grand Final. We've had 4-3 the last 2 years. Surely Lightning can't strike 3 times. So Dufresne. Away from Toria Campbell, who's just staying with her. Hasn't crossed the line. Hooked inboard. Now Nash finds McDonald. Almost rolled into the path of Nash. New Lambton holding firm at the moment. Dobson darted away from Amos, who didn't want to commit the foul. A little bit of a ricochet. Pepper curls it into the path of Jones. Great first touch from Sophie Jones. Now Lauren Allen's got a bit of work to do. She can't get there. Kasic with the header. Cochrane scooped it up onto the head of McDonald. Real pinball at the moment. Katie Gray's pass is overhit, and even with her speed, Courtney Anderson, she couldn't catch up with it.
And we've got another sub coming in for New Lambton.
And it will be the former Merewether United player, Imogen Tusek, who's going to head out there in her second consecutive grand final. 2 goals this season for her. And Lisa Cochrane, who's played in every match for New Lambton over the last 2 seasons, gets a well-earned rest. Braithwaite has done a terrific job on Tara Andrews, hasn't she? Taylor Braithwaite. Very physical. She's up for physical contests, having played in the AFL last year in the Black Diamond women's competition.
Yeah, that's a good competition now. The girls are looking to play both football and AFL.
The netball grand final on next week. Yeah, women's sport in the Hunter booming massively. It's boomed around the country in the last 5-6 years. It's just gone to another level. Kasic, now Andrews. The attempted turn, and again Taylor Braithwaite wins out in that battle. And then Nash.
Tackled by Andrews there, trying to win that ball back.
Yeah, well, Nash had an opportunity because Campbell just slipped.
Again in that area.
Yep. It's a hard pitch. I'm dropping my notes everywhere. There's Courtney Anderson. Still going Anderson. Nash. Sophie Jones. All of a sudden it's getting a whole lot tighter out there.
And that was a crucial touch there by Withers.
Jones. Jamie Ellis now. So Riley Dobson, who scored the first goal this afternoon and slotted the penalty to make it 3-2. Anderson. Good clearance away. Stacey Day it was, who gave away the penalty that Dobson scored. So unfortunate. So unfortunate. Final 12 minutes now. 2019 Herald Women's Premier League Grand Final. New Lambton Eagles against Merewether United, the premiers of this season, up against the champions of last. And they celebrated the championship with a rainbow last year against Warners Bay after a big downpour here at Western it was. Jones just over the head of Amos. And it's just incredible, Cass, the fact that this is the first grand final Merewether have been in that they haven't been behind in, and it potentially is going to be their most difficult.
Yes, definitely. But as
Dobson.
we know, they're the great
Well, she tried her luck. They are. They're the comeback queens, and they haven't had to come back. Ball kid was flying. Players out on their feet. One final push. That's all they need here. One final push.
And both teams will be looking for it because I don't think either will want to go into extra time.
Nash and Dobson. And here's Gray. Kept it low along the turf. Rolled wide into the path of Nikki Jones, who was making the overlapping run. She's out of position here, and she's got to rush back, Jones. And she drives Amos to the ground. She's got to be careful because she's on a yellow card. Not that she was going to give one away in that part of the ground. Throw goes the way of United. Gray got away from Kennedy quite easily as she squared it across the face. Toria Campbell and now Day. This could be very awkward for New Lambton. The ball is spinning everywhere. Nash couldn't get on the end of it, and then Campbell could.
New Lambton were calling for a handball against Merewether then.
Well, I thought there was a handball against Tamara Nash. Very similar to the Stacey Day handball. It just sort of brushed the arm. Probably not as obvious, though.
No, and the bounce wasn't too favourable for anyone in that situation and caused a bit of issues last time.
So Tusak and Nash, two former teammates coming together. Braithwaite.
Looking for an outlet up front, can't find one.
Kasich with a really important touch there. And now Andrews into the path of Sophie Jones. Could she sink the dagger into a former club? Lauren Allen catches up with the ball. She's run away from goal and she hooks it back across the face. There's no one there for the Eagles.
Great defensive run by Dobson then to recover and look to shut Allen down or just put her off her play.
Well, she's showing how fit she is, isn't she, Riley Dobson, end to end. She's just taking a little bit of a breather on this near side of the ground.
She's definitely.
She has been everywhere. 2 goals and so much defensive work. Andrews' pass is overhit. There's a bit of cramp as well, sinking in. And that's Leah Giuffre in the middle of the park, just struggling with a bit of cramp as Gray in a tangle with Jones. Still going Gray away from Tusak. And now Jamie Ellis. To be a long way behind play there. Now Tusak letting Dobson run on. And now Giuffre with the back heel, but there was no one with her.
Hoping Anderson was there, but Anderson wasn't quite.
And now Braithwaite, who's done all that work, keeping Tara Andrews quiet for the most part. And now with a slaloming run. And, well, for a moment then, I thought it was a better option for advantage to be played there by Ellie Hayes.
Yeah,
I cannot believe she didn't play advantage.
It was a great advantage for New
And
Lambton.
the crowd here, the New Lambton fans, are wondering why there was no advantage either. That was odd. But it will be a free kick for Stacey Day. The players probably won't mind it because there's a little bit of fatigue in the legs out there.
Yeah, definitely Merewether for advantage to get the recovery set.
Ball over the head of Anderson. Well, they haven't gone to their bench yet, Merewether. Same 11 out there that started the match. And here is Tamara Nash rolling towards goal. And it's across the line. But it's an offside. Oh, wow.
Wow, that's...
Oh, wow. And I'm happy it is an offside because I tell you what, that would have been a cruel way to lose a grand final.
And that ball definitely rolled across the net.
Yeah, there was no doubt it rolled across the line. Oh, that would have been heartbreaking. We thought Stacey Day looked heartbroken when she gave away the penalty.
Wow.
Well, that would have been a whole lot worse. two players just getting in each other's way.
That was pretty hectic.
It was Kasic and Jenna Kennedy coming across. It's one of those moments which sometimes would occur in your dreams, isn't it? It's like when you're trying to run away from someone and your feet are in the quicksand.
Then commentator curse.
Oh, just one of those awful moments. In the end, wouldn't have been a great way to lose a grand final, would have it? So still 3-3, and Tara Andrews towards the byline, stepped inboard, curls it across goal. And Jamie Ellis.
There,
yeah,
keeper and the defender.
Again, players just losing their heads for a moment, and Amos hangs it up, and Lauren Allen. Well, if she had have used her head there, it was 4-3 to New Lambton.
Just slightly mistimed the run, and it's gone out from behind. Great ball in, though.
So we're on the road towards extra time. Final 5 minutes. You just knew we were going into extra time today. Courtney Anderson.
There's a good foot race there, and Campbell comes on in front with the ball.
Well, it's either extra time or we are going to get a grandstand finish. And now Jones, Allen, hit her heel, still Lauren Allen. Scored the equaliser, can't score the winner. Could have she taken that closer to goal?
Yeah, she had a bit of room to move, even though she did slip and trip and all in between. But yeah, she had a bit more time to take an extra couple of steps to place a good hit on it. It was still a good hit, but not on target.
A whole lot more time than what she thought she had. As Alison Logue, she's been doing it a lot in this second half. A goal kick. Ping pong. Kennedy. Bit of aerial ping pong, I should have said. There's no player called ping pong out there. Sorry about that.
Well, no nicknames that I know of.
No. No. Here's Jones. Beats a couple. Tusek trying to catch up with her. She can't go with her. And Jones just decides to strike it, and Thomasone.
She had options there too.
Well, she did. Yeah, I don't know if that was the best option. Thomasone is just looking towards the line, and Amos, in trying to keep it in, has kept it in, but it rolled into the path of Riley Dobson. Could she score a hat-trick to win the grand final? She wasn't far off.
No. And Logue's trying to encourage the Merewether players here to press on.
So Stacey Day.
She's got last 5 minutes is crucial.
Yep. And Andrews, well, remember what she did for the Newcastle Jets a couple of seasons back in the 17-18 W League season in that semi-final against Sydney, where she equalised in the final minute in stoppage time to send that one into extra time to make it 2-2. They were down 2-0. Well, it's been a come-from-behind effort from New Lambton today. And here's Tara Andrews. Well, I'm not sure what she was doing there. Was she going for goal? Was she trying to find Pepper? She didn't either in the end. This is going to bounce up perfectly over the head of Tusek and Jufray.
Again, we've seen a bit of that with Merewether today. The back heel that hasn't actually come off for them.
Lauren Allen doing some work. Jones. And now Andrews. Ball just getting caught up in her boot. Anderson. Speeding away from Kasic. Now Dobson hooking the pass. Stacey Day to Tamara Nash. Controlled the ball towards McDonald. Both teams just giving up possession cheaply at the moment. Amos sees the run over on the far side of Pepper. And Pepper somehow was just able to nudge the ball forward. Now Kasic in a foot race with Courtney Anderson.
We've got 2 players down in the back play, but we've also got an
Still going Anderson. Here's Frey, and then Toria Campbell. We have got 2 players down, as you said, Cass. And there's some cramp for Emil and Pepper. Some serious cramping. Just trying to see who else is on the floor.
And we've also got both ends of the field, the players are starting to...
I think it's Tamara Nash.
Yeah.
It is Tamara Nash, just slow to her feet. So we are heading towards, and we probably are now in stoppage time, but we will have a little bit of stoppage time added on by the referees. After that, it will be extra time and then potentially penalties.
Because Ben's on a short timeline.
Trying to get to Magic Park could be interesting.
20 minutes late, got an extra time.
Let's just hope there's no goals in the first 10 minutes in the semi-final at Magic Park this afternoon. Edgeworth with a big win in the first leg of that NPL semi.
Yeah, did that finish up 4-1?
Yeah, it was 4-1 with a few minutes left. I haven't double-checked. And then Magic against Maitland from 6 p.m. at Magic Park tonight. So big day of football in northern New South Wales. This one, 3-3. And now Allen into the path of Andrews, but Braithwaite, who has done so well, she's put in a great shift up against Tara Andrews.
Yeah, definitely. As we said, the man marking with Andrews and Allen has worked to some extent. Allen's last goal got him behind, which was a great goal.
So Kennedy put everything into that throw. Andrews got ahead to it. Allen, and the clearance from Ellie Withers. It was good enough. Kasic had to backtrack. Now Toria Campbell. Pepper, who was cramping up moments ago, just dwelled on possession way too long, and Campbell had the energy to win the ball back for New Lambton, but has given it up. Nash to Frey. Is there a late winner here for Merewether? Tusek, the former United player, was able to stop the pass mid-flight. Jones. Day. The sun setting on this 2019 Herald Women's Premier League campaign, but there may still be a little bit more time remaining in it. Kennedy rushing towards the byline, and well, now she's cramping up as well. Players finding it tough. It has been a warm day at Western, 22 degrees. It's dropped down in this second half, but that's what the temperature was at kickoff. Need some salt, some bananas, a bit more water.
Doesn't look like the coaches are making any subs, so we'll have the same teams on for the extra time.
Yeah, Merewether have not made a substitution. Tusek. And the pass is straight to Riley Dobson. So here go Merewether. McDonald. Braithwaite, who's kept Andrews quiet all afternoon, and Braithwaite took on the strike. Well, she would have had to have been player of the match if she scores that.
That was definitely a good passing sequence there by Merewether.
And now she runs back and stands next to Tara Andrews and says, I remember you. So Day onto the head of Andrews, and then Withers won the ball in front of Allen. Ellie Hayes looks at her watch and says, we are going into an extra 30 minutes in the 2019 Herald Women's Premier League Grand Final. A seesawing contest, an absolute cracker. 1-1 at half-time. Merewether went up 2-1 and 3-2 in the second half. New Lambton responded full-time at Rockwell Automation Park. Merewether United 3, New Lambton Eagles 3. Cass Wright, strap yourself in. 30 minutes more.
Yes, exciting times now. The second time for today. Both reserve grade and first grade now going to extra time and possibly penalties.
Well, we're going to take a quick break for a few minutes. We'll be back for the resumption of extra time. So we're back in about 5. 3-3 at the end of full time here at Rockwell Automation Park.
Just clarifying there, the time 15 each way.
Yes, it is. It is 15 each way. We are back at Rockwell Automation Park, and we're ready for an extra half an hour. And what is amazing to me is that this is the first grand final Merewether have not been behind in at any point, and we're going to extra time. Probably their most difficult, and we're back underway for the third time this afternoon. New Lambton have fought back on each occasion. Merewether have never lost a grand final. They've won them all in normal time, never in extra time.
And it'll be interesting to see how Merewether cope with the extra time, considering they had 2 or 3 players cramping up and they haven't made any changes.
Well, exactly. It's the starting 11 out there for Merewether. Kasic, the throw. Plenty of strapping on Sophie Jones. She got the blue tape all over both knees. Braithwaite. And now Jones angled the pass to Pepper. Here's Tara Andrews.
She's isolated Allen up front. They've gotten...
Yeah, Tara Andrews has dropped back now. Is that a play? Is Keelan Hamilton asked for Tara Andrews to drop back and try and win possession?
No, she does that naturally. If she's not getting the ball, she'll drop in to close to halfway where she is now until she gets it. and then she'll move forward.
Well, there was definitely a handball there in the build-up. The flag is up from Alison McCready, the assistant on this near side. And it's a very delayed call, but there was no doubt there was a handball in the build-up from Leah Jouffre, it was.
That'd be my request anyway, as every two strikers not always sitting square, so one would sit left or right shoulder or in behind, and that's what she tends to do, and it's been quite successful for them. And obviously Dale look for Andrews here.
And Tara Andrews has got a best friend alongside her in Taylor Braithwaite.
And wins the ball.
And that player marking, or man marking as you called it. I'm going to call it player. Player,
yes, it's an old term. Hard to get used to.
You know, it should be you correcting me on that kind of thing, but should be giving it to you, Cass. As here's the ball up and over the top. You should be getting that right. Here's Tara Andrews. Almost in on goal. Campbell. Now Braithwaite. Just scooped it up in the air. So New Lambton have made two changes with Tusak and Kasic out there. See Tusak just sitting in that holding role. Pepper and Kasic at left fullback. Days.
Good challenge in there by Nash. And again.
Attempted clearance, well blocked. And Tamara Nash gets half an hour extra to see if she can score in 5 consecutive matches. Inspired by her brother Matt, former A-League goalkeeper. You can see why she's a good finisher. She was practicing with Matt in the backyard. Brought down well by Amos. She rushes forward and now rolls it into the path of Andrews in a foot race with Nikki Jones, who is on a yellow card. She has to be careful going in there. And Andrews couldn't reel it in because it was Katie Gray who won back the ball for Merewether. And now Riley Dobson in a one-on-one battle with Jenna Kennedy, and Kennedy won out momentarily. Jouffre back to Dobson. 2 goals for Riley this afternoon. And now Day couldn't get a touch on it, and Courtney Anderson has pushed it wide as she looked to make it 2 for the afternoon.
That was a great run by Anderson, and unfortunately just got away from Stacey Day there. And yeah.
All of a sudden it's got a little bit chilly at Western. It was cooking this afternoon, but has dropped in temperature now with the sun setting. It is a lovely sunset. We've had some rain the last few days. Not as much up here at Western though, which is sad because out west.
Here more than ever.
Oh, exactly. They just need some rain. Courtney Anderson
still making good runs. Still has enough energy to.
She just keeps going. Called her the pocket rocket. She's got batteries which are lifetime batteries.
Definitely one of the fittest in the team.
Oh, Andrews and Nash came together, and Nash is
still seeing stars. I think.
Yeah.
Yep, she's definitely.
She may be a little concussed here. She was down before, but that was with cramp. And Tamara Nash is.
Yeah, I think she's quite concussed.
Yeah, play had to be stopped by Ellie Hayes, and that is the directive for referees. When there is a head injury, play has to be stopped. And Cass Coppin may be forced into a change here. Yep. Nash is trying to shake it off, but she's saying she's all right.
But she needs to have a concussion test. It's really crucial these days.
Well, exactly, and the issue is the secondary concussion.
That's exactly right. I've had a few players this year and years gone by, and it's just not worth the risk.
Well, there's a drop ball, and Courtney Anderson has just taken off.
And that's a common theme at the moment. The drop balls aren't being given back. They're playing on. I've seen a few teams this year do that. And we were actually quite dazzled ourselves. And
Why?
Merewether did it before as well.
Why is that, Cass?
Don't know.
The thing is, as soon as one team does it, everyone will
Yep.
join in.
Yeah, and Merewether have obviously seen that club do that this year and taken it on.
We saw it come to the fore in that Leeds Aston Villa match in the championship earlier in the year where Leeds scored and then, well, they let the goal in themselves down the other end as Dobson across the face of goal.
And no one there to
cut out by Campbell.
get on the end of that one. But yeah, there's a change of rule next year, I think, with the drop ball.
Riley Dobson came from behind Amos and won the ball.
Play's almost stopped. Mickey Jones is waiting for someone to make a run and not too much movement.
Frey to Anderson. Was this kind of angle she scored from in the second half? She's got some power in that right boot.
Just not on target.
You've got to use it in that very precise spot of the park.
Yeah, so more information coming on the drop ball for next year. Yeah.
Interesting. Stacey Day with a little bit of a limp as she launched that one.
And Tara Andrews is dropping even further back into the midfield to try and get some ball time.
She's had limited opportunities and still managed to score an own goal, New Lambton's other goal, as well as the strike from Lauren Allen. So their top two leading goal scorers on the board. It was Jenna Kennedy's header that was deflected in. And for Merewether, Dobson with two, Courtney Anderson with the other one. And Tamara Nash, well, she's just been trodden on there by Kasich. She's in the wars in this first period of extra time. And now Nash clips Kasich, so there's a little bit of revenge, I think. Not too many chances of late. And it's a common thread normally in extra time. The first period, you've got players fatiguing.
And with fatigue comes decision making, so crucial that those decisions are made.
Well hit by Day, but it's going to roll the scraps to Dobson. Braithwaite on the turn. Her pass misguided to Kasich.
And there's potentially those decisions that just aren't the right ones at the right time where are crucial in play.
And here's a free kick going Merewether's way. I should say New Lambton's way, and Withers has kicked the ball away.
And the referees, the assistant referees calling this one, Ben.
Well, it has to be a yellow card, doesn't it?
Yep.
And it will be a yellow card.
So, and there's those silly decisions that we're talking about. That was totally unnecessary.
And Withers has given Ellie Hayes a spray, which is probably not something you want to do.
Not after you've received a yellow.
It's just a silly yellow card. But that's what happens. You're fatigued, you're tired, frustrated.
Yep. And she's in a crucial position where she's man marking down the back and she can't now make any mistakes.
Well, exactly. And Nikki Jones, who's charging after this ball now, so she's on a yellow.
Yep,
and Ellie Withers.
Yeah, both on yellows. And there may be a time where they make that crucial tackle where I had one last week and ended up with a red and changed the game. So
Dobson on the bounce to Thomasone.
But to Clister's credit, she had to make it. So Clister was...
Well, that's the question you're asking, aren't you? Would you prefer to concede or would you prefer to go down a player? And in some circumstances, it's better to lose a player, isn't it?
Yeah, you've got to take that risk.
Late on in a match, especially. Well, Luis Suarez will tell you that. I remember that 2010 World Cup it was. His handball on the line, last minute against Ghana.
Yeah.
Penalty got missed and they win in a shootout. So that is what happens. Sometimes you've got to take one for the team. Frey links up with Jones. Courtney Anderson. She'll
retrieve it. Yep.
It just seemed to be a little confused there as She's going to keep possession. Diving in was Campbell. Well, she will go into the book. So there's the yellow going the way of New Lambton. First booking, and credit to her, Toria Campbell. She went over just to check on Courtney Anderson. Just a mistimed challenge.
This is a really crucial free kick here from Merewether, because they're free kick specialists, and for New Lambton, it's basically going to be up to the keeper on this one if Ellis gets a hold of the usual ones that she does and puts them away.
Well, Jamie Ellis, the free kick extraordinaire, scored in the grand final in 2015. It was from further out than this.
It may be too short for her, actually. We'll soon see.
Well, it was Imogen Thomasone who was watching from the other end of the ground that afternoon. Now she's got to stop it.
Oh, the short.
And Riley Dobson swivels and turns. Came off Stacey Day's head. The question is, if she doesn't get a head on that, there's some questions for New Lambton. Yep. Very important from Stacey Day.
And I saw Riley move forward then. I was wondering if she was going to, and she did. So they've obviously been practicing that one opposed to the long shot, and it was a great move, actually.
So Ellis, oh, she hasn't kept the corner in again. That's twice now. Jamie Ellis. You could say she might be a little bit fatigued on this occasion, though.
Just got to take your time with those ones to make sure that they get in the area for a potential goal.
And still, New Lambton, I should say Merewether, have a full complement on the bench. Merewether with their 11 starting players out there. New Lambton have made 2 changes. Amos winning possession, and then Jones,
in there.
and then Andrews just tried to continue the momentum of the ball with a right boot, rolled it forward to Lauren Allen, who scored the most recent goal in this one. Merewether have been up 1-0, 2-1, 3-2 every time New Lambton have responded. And coming out and clutching it in is Imogen Thomasone. Grand final winner with Merewether 4 years ago. She knocks it up the ground. McDonald. Anderson's touch was a heavy one. And Campbell, gee, she's been good. Toria Campbell at the back for New Lambton as well. Braithwaite. You struggle to find a poor player on the park. A grand final that's finished 3-3 at full time.
So have we had a grand final going into penalties?
I think we have. I'll have to just double check that actually. I'll do that right now. Stats on the fly.
Stacey Day with a bit of time here.
Thomasone.
New Lambton trying to maintain possession and move the ball forward. There's not much option here because, again, Merewether are playing this player marking game, and little to no option to move forward. They'll need to put the light up. Yep, the lights are on.
Yeah, I can tell you there hasn't been a WPL grand final based on the results that I've got that has gone into penalties.
I didn't think so.
No. And you'd have to tell me whether there's been one that went into extra time, because Tara Andrews now pushes a pass in front of Amos.
What can New Lambton do
And she
here?
cuts it across goal. It's going to sit on top of the net, so it's going to be a goal kick. The lights are on at Rockwell Automation Park. Well, you'll have to tell me, Cass, because since I've been covering it, there's been no extra time. And we are now at half-time of extra time. No goals in that period. Both sides maybe just struggling with a bit of fatigue. Merewether haven't made a change yet. New Lambton they've made a couple, but they are looking a little tired. And half-time in extra time, it is New Lambton Eagles 3, Merewether United 3, and we'll continue that conversation. So 2009, Magic beat Cardiff 2-0. 2010, Edgeworth 1-0 over Valentine. 2011, Valentine 3-2 over Magic. 2012, Adamstown 6-1 over Lake Macquarie. That one definitely didn't go into extra time. And then 2013, Adamstown 4-3 against Lake Macquarie. 14 was the Emerging Jets 5-2 against Adamstown. And then the last 4, Merewether 3-2 against Valentine in 15. In 2016, it was Warners Bay 1-0 over Wallsend. And then the last 2 have been 4-3 to Merewether against Warners Bay.
Yeah, so the only one that could potentially have gone into extra time would have been the Valentine one.
If you do know, just send us a message at the bottom of the
screen
of the YouTube stream. If you do know whether this is the first ever WPL Grand Final to go into extra time.
And we've got our first change here for Merewether. So Giuffre looks like has come off.
Yes. Leah Giuffre has left the park and Isabella Ramzan-Levy has headed out there. So Ramzan-Levy.
I'm just trying to see if there's any other changes. I can't see any at this stage.
So final 15 minutes. Is there a winner, or are we going to penalties for the first time in the WPL era? Charging after it is Gray. Time to put the jackets on here at Rockwell Automation Park. It was T-shirt weather when it kicked off. Now everyone's in the jacket.
That sun going down is just
It's taken the heat out of
changed the temperature.
Proceedings, yeah. So McDonald. Now Tamara Nash. And now Riley Dobson into the path of Courtney Anderson.
Done well to keep that in, but actually she didn't.
Yeah, well, she'll have good memories of that side of the ground because that's where she arrowed in to score the go-ahead goal for Merewether at 2-1. Jones. The wait goes on. So remember, if you're watching this one on Bar TV and you just want to keep watching football tonight, because, you know, it's a great thing to do.
On Father's Day.
On Father's Day. Get your dad by the TV, get it on the TV or on...
So shout out to all the fathers watching, and the fathers are here today supporting our competition in our Northern New South Wales Premier League.
Yes, exactly. And...
I suppose I should shout out to my father. Happy Father's Day, Phil, and to my husband sitting at home watching, sending me commentary on our commentary.
Yeah, I've already said Happy Father's Day to my dad, so tick that box for today. There's Tara Andrews on the turn. Can she get onto the left boot? Andrews! New Lambton's golden girl with a golden goal. Could that be a championship-winning goal? She only needed an inch, and she took a mile, and she thumped it into the bottom corner. 4-3 New Lambton in front for the first time this afternoon.
And a classic goal by Andrews, which we've seen throughout the season, and it's again giving them the lead.
Will it be another fight back from Merewether? They're going to need another fight back, remembering that in every grand final now they've been in, they have been behind in each one, and they've responded. And Riley Dobson with the strike, blocked by Stacey Day. It just took a moment, didn't it? Just a slight moment. And Andrews made Merewether pay, as she did in the first half. And the question marks around whether they should have made changes earlier rear their head.
Definitely. Their fullbacks have worked extremely hard.
Here's Lauren Allen. Well, this could seal it. They are out on their feet, and Andrews almost had a hat-trick. And that would have been curtains for Merewether.
That was a crucial challenge in the box there.
Well, they are treading water in a big way, United. I've only made one change, and we are in the second half of extra time. And they are absolutely gone. Almost 2 hours of football. Here's the corner, curling in Logue with the attempted punch, and the ball has gone up and over off a New Lambton body. There's bodies everywhere. They do push a lot of numbers forward there for a side that's up 4-3 in the final minutes of a grand final.
Interesting, Loke had a lot of time to actually keep possession of that ball, and she's just let one of the players.
So a tangle between Pepper and McDonald. So New Lambton in their second season in the Herald Women's Premier League. Are they heading towards a first title against a side who have never lost a grand final and are looking for a three-peat? Have won the last two, Merewether United.
A three-peat, I like that one. Ben.
Going to go over the line. And I can tell you when Melbourne City won their third consecutive championship in the A-League, I think Brenton Speed, who was commentating, said the three-peat is complete. I wasn't going to use that. I wasn't going to copy his line. But it's a good one. It's a ripper. As Alison Logue with the attempted punch. That was a match which this woman, Riley Dobson, was part of. That grand final win against Sydney FC a year and a half ago now.
It was a great run by Anderson. Unfortunately, just couldn't hold a balance there, and it's gone straight through to the keeper.
Campbell. Here's Kennedy. Little slip from Jones. It's like an ice skating rink. Speaking of that, the Australian Ice Hockey League grand final is on as we speak, I'm pretty certain.
Is that on today as well?
It is. Perth against Sydney. Newcastle North Stars knocked out last night. And a team who lost just 2 matches all season in that competition didn't make the grand final. Well, the team who lost just 1 match all season in New Lambton made it to the grand final and a minute away from achieving the double. And it's a wonderful achievement if they get there, because it's rare. Only has Merewether achieved that since the WPL began in 2009. That was in 2015. So just one team. And this will be the 11th completed season. So Stacey Day, as all experienced players do in this situation.
Some crucial minutes here from Merewether. Need to look for that goal to send it into a penalty shootout.
So no penalty shootouts in Herald Women's Premier League history. And maybe we're not going to get one this year. And it's going to be 4-3. Is it? Again, it's a popular scoreline.
It is.
In the Women's Premier League. The last two have been 4-3. 2013 was 4-3. And we love it. Plenty of goals, plenty of excitement. Allen trying to search for Tara Andrews. Amos was there as well. Herring after the ball, giving absolutely everything she's got left. Nikki Jones. And now Amos holding off Ramsden Levy, and it's going to be a corner. New Lambton happy about that. So here's the corner from Sophie Jones. Just under 7 minutes remaining in extra time. It hangs up in the air, and Andrews was rising.
Connects, but doesn't hit into goals. There's lots of talk out there on the park today. The girls are trying to get each of their teammates motivated in this last couple of minutes of the game. Crucial.
Well, we were talking about the match to come straight after this. Broadmeadow Magic up against Maitland in the NPL. 6 p.m. kickoff at Magic Park. So once this one's finished, you'll be able to just wait a few minutes, I'd say, and then get that one on the stream. Big night of football ahead.
And we've lost Merewether. Have lost possession in a crucial part of the area of
Tusak against a former team in her second consecutive grand final. Is she on the right side? Again. Just keeping it inside the line is Gray. Merewether are so resilient. They're going to have to find that resilience once again.
Sounds like Merewether fans weren't popular for that decision. Throw in for New Lambton.
They're not used to grand final defeat.
No, and I've seen the coach have a few words with
Braithwaite has just thumped that ball over the sideline, straight at the New Lambton bench as well.
And there's words from the other bench as well, so it's all happening.
Oh, there is tension. There is tension on the sideline. She absolutely rocketed that ball. It didn't hit anyone. It was a little high for that. As Andrews, just inside the byline, cuts it back. Lauren Allen. Well, she had to keep her legs closed, did Alison Logue, or it would have been 5-3.
Yep, and there's one of those kicks that...
Another slip from Amos. And Campbell's touch is heavy. And now she's slipped over. And she's in trouble. And Thompson's in on goal. And it's a big decision here for Ellie Hayes because Dobson's down and Campbell looks to be in all sorts. Is it cramp or has she done a calf?
Yeah, the leg's in an awkward position, so maybe she just has gone down, or is it a cramp? She's holding a knee.
For a minute I feared the worst, just the way she went down and then clutched it, sort of the lower leg. But I think maybe it's just cramp.
Not sure if it's an ankle or knee.
I think it is cramp.
Yeah.
So Tara Andrews has been summoned by Keelan Hamilton. The fourth official has got her work cut out for her because she's going between both benches, just calming down each coach. Keelan Hamilton and Cass Coppin.
Tense moments here.
How good is this?
Yes. Everyone's on
How good is this?
their seats.
Grand final, extra time, 7 goals. And the Merewether fans have found their voice. As Toria Campbell gets a round of applause from the New Lambton fans here in the stand, and she's still being worked on.
Campbell's still on the sidelines receiving treatment, which New Lambton have to be aware of. One player down can make a difference.
So Imogen Tusak looked to have just dropped into that centre back role, but maybe not anymore. We'll see how they do line up. As Gray rolls it out wide to Anderson. Straight
Thompson
onto the head of Day. She'll deal with that.
The ball there too.
Yeah, I was going to say Stacey Day will deal with that all day. Those kind of balls across goal. Straight onto the head. So Tara Andrews, who scored the goal that put New Lambton ahead 4-3.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be reminded not to enter the field.
Here's Amos rushing down the line.
On the field of play for the presentation.
Now, there's just an announcement. Lam Bentley from Northern New South Wales has said no pitch invasion. Do you really think there's going to be no pitch invasion? Local grand final, there's always a pitch invasion.
First win for New Lambton, both reserve grade and first grade if they take it out. I wouldn't be wanting the one to hold back the New Lambton supporters in their first grand final win for first grade.
Yes, I'm thinking there will be a pitch invasion for sure.
They pushed Stacey Day up and had 3 at the back here, trying to maintain possession and move the ball forward.
And Campbell is still stretching out that calf back on halfway. So now Jenna Kennedy. So she has played in every match since New Lambton came into this competition last year. Every minute so far this afternoon.
Result.
Not every minute of every match, but every minute this afternoon. Dobson puts it over the line. Less than 5 minutes remaining now. And the ball exactly where Merewether don't want it, and New Lambton will love it. Final 90 seconds, final 60 seconds. 3 times New Lambton went behind in this one.
Everyone's on there.
And now they lead 4-3.
Actually, they're all standing up now, just saying
Nash.
if New Lambton can hold this lead, last minutes.
And now Gray. Well, it is all hands to the pump. The bus has been parked by New Lambton. Tara Andrews is just standing up front. And now Withers. Thomason's just going to let this ball trickle over the line and let time tick away.
Referee's looking at a watch. And I think the countdown's on, Ben.
Well, the countdown is on, but you sense probably at least 1 minute of additional time.
Referee's saying.
Stacey Day probably is just waiting for the yellow card to come out, as players usually do in that kind of situation.
Yeah.
Allen to Andrews. Returns the pass. Allen cut down by Ellie Withers, who is probably very lucky to stay on the park, to be honest.
Yes,
if
definitely.
Merewether was up in that situation, I'm thinking she was probably gone. But maybe Ellie Hayes has taken pity on her.
The assistant referees here talking to the
Well, it's a
referee.
definite yellow card. No doubt about it. It's a cynical foul, and what it comes down to is it comes down to the silly yellow card when she kicks the ball away.
Yes, that's right.
And we spoke about that at the time. She's very, very lucky. This will be her first grand final defeat in Merewether colours. Amos now down towards the corner. Ramsden Levy has given away the corner. Well, I wouldn't say she gave it away. More, Amos won the corner.
Yeah, definitely.
So the dying embers of this 2019 Herald Women's Premier League season. What a grand final it has been.
And New Lambton here just winding down the clock to keep the possession in the corner here near the post.
You're getting a bit fatigued as well, Cass.
Yeah, I know. It's been a long day. Full day of excitement.
Oh, it has. It has been a big, big day. And Amos across goal. They'd love just to seal it, wouldn't they? Not have to worry about anything if they scored a fifth. Sophie Jones now holding up the ball.
And the referee, does she have the whistle ready to go? I think all of the New Lambton spectators are moving down to the field for that run on.
They are. They're getting ready to run out onto Rockwell Automation Park, even though they've been told not to, but it's a local grand final. I'm sure there'll be no fines handed out. It's Tara Andrews. Well, it's hit the corner flag, and it's another corner. And is this the final play? The last rights?
The last kick of the day.
Well, they're just going to take it to the corner. There's going to be no corner from New Lambton. Imogen Tusek's just doing up her shoelace. She's on the right side of the grand final again. And the Eagles soar to pastures they have never been before. For the first time, the Herald Women's Premier League champions are the New Lambton Eagles. And they join Merewether as the only side to have achieved the double.
And your champions are New Lambton Eagles.
Keelan Hamilton's side, they will have their sights set on doing it once again in 2020, but they're going to enjoy this a whole lot.
The double today, so the reserve grade and first grade of grand final winners. So a great result for New Lambton.
And a first grand final defeat for Merewether. And it finishes full-time New Lambton Eagles 4, Merewether United 3. And I've got a bail, Cass, so...
Yes. Thanks, Ben.
thanks for your company this afternoon. And enjoy the night of football that awaits Broadmeadow Magic up against Maitland. If you want to catch that, also the presentation on its way shortly. Thanks for your company.
Wow, what an epic grand final. Let's make a bit of noise for both teams, New Lambton and Merewether United, for putting on a fantastic advert for the Herald Women's Premier League. My name is Liam Bentley. I'm joined up here by Chad Watson from the Herald, fantastic supporters of our elite women's competition, and David Eland, CEO of Northern New South Wales Football. What a fantastic, I'm going to hand over to David to say a quick few words.
Thank you, Liam. Good evening, everyone. Just a few thank yous from myself and on behalf of Northern New South Wales. Firstly, can you please put your hands together for Western, who have been absolutely fantastic hosts today. Obviously, Western have had a full season of football, and to present a facility like this after 50 mil of rain yesterday is absolutely fantastic. So thank you to Rod Henderson and everyone at Western. You have been great hosts, as you have for the last couple of years, so thank you. I'd also like to thank the Newcastle Herald, represented by Chad Watson here today. The Herald are fantastic supporters of not only the WPL, but also football. They are always very willing to help us to promote our games. So to Chad and the Herald, thank you very much. I now want to thank the clubs. I'm not sure about you, but I really feel that the momentum of the WPL just continues to grow. And as you all know, we're working towards being a division of the NPL in a couple of years ago, which is exciting. But that can only happen with the tireless effort of the volunteers at our clubs involved in the WPL. So I want to thank the volunteers, not only the clubs here today, but every single club and the volunteers. Without those volunteers, there's just not the participation opportunities for the females involved in our game. So can you all put hands together for every club involved in the WPL and those volunteers? Thank you very much. The last thank you I've got is an important one for the match officials. We're going to recognise the 4 match officials that have been appointed to the game today. But it's not an easy job, and I just want to acknowledge match officials right across our game. We don't have enough, it's as simple as that, but they all do a fantastic job. They're a vital part of the game. So for match officials today, and to all the officials right across the game, thank you very much. I'll now hand back to Len.
Thank you. As David said, we'll recognise our match officials, starting with our referee, Eleanor Hayes. Assistant referees, Alison McCready and Verity Norris. And our fourth official, Samantha Newell. And that brings us to our grand finalists today. Merewether United, let's hear from the Lamb Army over here for you girls. Fantastic performance and what has genuinely been an epic grand final. And we'll ask you guys to come up for your medals, starting with Jane McDonald, Rebecca Stewart, Nikki Jones, Leah Jeffrey, Riley Dobson, Jenny Ellis, Ellie Withers, Tamara Nash, Courtney Anderson, Katie Gray, Emma Allen, Taylor Gray, Taylor Braithwaite, Isabella Ramlevy, and Isabella Sofian, and of course Captain Alison Loke.
First of all, thank you to Lambton. Great game today. Been the informed team all season, so well done. Thank you very much for everyone who came out and watched any games today. It's much better playing with a bit of an atmosphere around. Thank you to Western for the facilities, something for the WPL clubs to achieve in the near future, hopefully. Sponsors, build in, come back for a beverage after, like when we leave. Coaching staff, Cass, Pete, Ian, Nikki, guys, you were, Ryan as well, I can't forget Ryan. Guys, you were awesome. You put in a lot of hard work and we couldn't do it without you. And girls, wasn't our day today, so very proud of you. I was a bit worried after round 1. But we turned our season around and to get here today and to push New Lambton to extra time was proud of you all. Thank you.
And of course, talking all the coaching staff can get them off their medals, starting with Coach Cass Coppin, Pete Withers, Sarah Hestry, Ian West, Nikki Stewart, Ryan Swinnell, Sprinkles, my apologies. Ladies and gentlemen, Love Army once again from Merewether United. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that does leave us with your double premiers and grand final champions, Lambton Eagles! Starting with Imogen Thomasoni, Carolina Kakic, Jenna Kennedy, Lisa Cochran, Emily Wicks, Georgia Amos, Stacey Day, Toria Campbell, Imogen Tusek, Sophie Jones, Emily Pepper, Lauren Allen, Talia Grossner, Kate Pitt, Taylor Bright, and of course Captain Tara Andrews.
What a game, hey? Thanks, Merewether. It was entertaining to say the least, so a great game. To the crowd, you guys are awesome. You show up every week to watch us, so friends and family, thank you again for supporting us. Reserve grade, great work. Obviously, championships as well. That's minor and major premiership for both teams, so I think that's pretty special, and that just shows what a good club we have, what a good coaching staff. And just want to thank you guys for showing up every training session, pushing us through. And last but not least, to the girls, I'm so proud of you. We came back 4 times today, so just so proud. Let's go.
And of course the coaching staff, Coach Keelan Hamilton, Gary McIntosh, Caitlin McHugh, John Hamilton, Carson McGovern, and Andy Henry. Ladies and gentlemen, your 2019 Herald Women's Premier League champions, New Lambton Eagles!